This program raises questions. This program is for people who find it hard to trust God. The best answers are wrapped in flesh and blood. My friends, people who are enduring real tragedies every single day. Quadriplegia, muscular dystrophy, stroke, bankruptcy, loneliness, singleness. We're going to talk to those very people who have touched my life.
I grew up a missionary kid. We spent a year in Australia when I was little. My father was a pastor, and so I've always had a heart for other countries. And then when I was younger, both my parents died. I felt that pain and that incredible pain and loneliness, and God was there through it. And there are so many people in the world that are going through pain that don't have the hope of Christ.
My name's Kelly. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. When I was in high school, I volunteered at Joni and Friends in 1999. And really, I just signed up for it because a lot of my friends had gone on it and said it was fun.
I love you. You be a good girl. Happy Father's Day.
I had a few weeks available in the summer, so I signed up and not really knowing what to expect, and it ended up being the best week of my life. And changed my life, changed my perspective on life, made me want to become a special ed teacher.
Start crying again.
Okay, I'm going to give you a copy of mine. Put it in your bag.
I'll give you one of mine later.
Okay. You take your malaria meds this morning?
I did.
All right.
I did.
Good.
Thanks for the reminder. Your supplies.
Yes. I'm about 1 pound over on each bag, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I've known Rachel. I met her through my church, and we've gone on several Joni and Friends trips together, so we've become close.
There's so many kids around the world that have nothing and no family, and that just breaks my heart.
We both have a passion for kids with disabilities, for orphans, for Africa and other needy countries.
And I knew I wanted to do something somehow, even though it hurts to do that because it's reliving the pain over and over again. I knew at least it made a purpose for what happened. There was something good that God was going to use out of it, and that really ministered to me. I needed that.
Mothers and fathers of kids with disabilities are the same all over the world. They just want what's best for their children. Now, it's easy to secure the best here in America, but in Africa, well, that's another story. Millions of people with disabilities live in abject poverty with little to no health care. The fields are ripe out there, but I tell you, the laborers are few. And we at Joni and Friends recognize that young people in the West, they're looking for ways to put their faith into practice, roll up their sleeves, and make God real to those who need Him most. It's why we've developed our Cause for Life internship program. We want to provide life-defining experiences that really motivate young people into a life of service in Christ's kingdom. So we take young physical therapists in training, speech, occupational therapists, any college-age person who wants to make a difference in the lives of those families living in developing nations. But don't think internship is neat, tidy, and predictable. It can be full of surprises. Kelly and Rachel are heading to Africa.
Joni and Friends and the Cause for Life internships asked if Kelly and I would lead the trip to Uganda together this year.
Well, here we are, first day in Uganda. Had a long flight, so we're tired, very tired. Some people lost their luggage. Thankfully, we have all of our luggage. We had to sleep with our netting tents last night, so we didn't get mosquitoes. Interesting. Yeah, today we're visiting slums.
We have a physical therapist here who is also from Illinois, Nancy. She's gone on a couple Wheels for the World's trips.
How do you say thank you so much?
She works with children, and she also has an intern or someone that she is mentoring, Gabby, who is a college student, and she's going to school to be a physical therapist. Then there's Beth, and she is a coach at Wheaton College, which is actually where I went to college, and she's a basketball coach. And she is here to do some basketball clinics and recreation. And Nathaniel is a college student who is going to be with her learning how to do sports ministry.
Are you guys tired yet? Because this is just the warm-up. No. Nobody.
What I would like to see in this week is us being able to give to them and show them things that we have learned or that God has given us and that they would be able to use here. And I know in return we're going to get a lot back.
They're adorable.
I'm a little nervous about malaria. I know a couple people here do have it and they are affected with it. So I think that's my only fear right now is trying to protect against mosquito bites.
It's Africa. We don't completely know what's going on. Sometimes it's as we go. Not completely knowing what is coming is somewhat of a challenge.
Got a nice shower in, not like yesterday where I put shampoo in my hair and then there was no more water and had to rinse my hair with a water bottle. Okay, well today while I had a shower, I had a little friend that was right here while I was taking a shower. It was fine as long as it was on the wall and not bothering me, but then all of a sudden it started jumping all over, so I had to contain it. Woo! There he is.
Internships involve not only instruction, training, and skill development, but hands-on help for disabled people by providing, well, a wheelchair perhaps. The wheelchairs you find in Africa are not always suitable, and sometimes it means getting pretty creative with what few materials you have to make an appropriate and comfortable chair for someone like Isaac. And it needs to be appropriate. Too many people think that any wheelchair is better than none, but that's not true. Too many pressure sores have resulted in far too many infections because of a chair that doesn't fit right.
Isaac has a lot of tightness, as you can see, and from over a long period of time, the tightness has caused his bones to be misaligned.
His chair is not fitted correctly. It's too big, it's too unstable, and that is really making him slouch.
For Isaac, what would be wonderful would be to at least have a solid seat and a solid back, cushion on it to protect his skin. And then the width should be appropriate so that it gives him stability here. The muscles are pulling and gravity is assisting the muscles in their pull. And so over time, he's getting further and further over to the side. That makes it very difficult for him to be able to do anything with his hands.
That was hard. I just felt that he's so limited and has such potential to do so much more and is just held back by his wheelchair.
It was amazing just to see how difficult it is to get him in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in America we just build ramps and it's easy.
Yeah.
And I liked how the brother, you can just tell, loves his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Where he mentioned he pushes him all the way to school and takes care of him and brings him outside. I mean, that was amazing.
I'm here at the Kampala School for Handicapped Children to primarily do teacher training and work with the students and give teachers the tools to incorporate different teaching strategies so that they can have a greater influence on the students they serve.
I'm here to work in this school for the kids with disabilities, to train them in how better they can help the kids and how better they can, different materials and strategies that they can use in their classroom to work with the kids.
A lot of us share the same passions, and I think our main purpose is the same, so I think we work well together. I don't think she's here yet. Kelly. Kelly.
Kelly.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Every woman goes to deliver, expecting to deliver a nice, bouncing baby. For one reason or another, there are, and all of a sudden there is this child, and they have this challenge.
Sunglasses. Oh, your sunglasses.
This is where today you are expecting this kind of child, and all of a sudden you get a different kind of child. And whether you like it or not, you kind of have got to come to terms with it.
Yeah, you want to try them on? Okay.
So somehow, one way or another, he's abused by how, she's called by the people and everybody. But the families, I've realized that the families where the child have been accepted, you find that that child is a darling to everybody.
Let me see. Wow. They're not used to getting a lot of attention, and when you give them attention, they just light up, and it's just amazing.
People in developing countries, even young people, who live with cerebral palsy or Down syndrome or autism, are often looked upon as cursed, maybe by a local witch doctor or the animist spirits in the forest. But people like Rachel and Kelly and other interns, they reveal the truth and are able to make God real to these families, reminding everyone that every person is made in the image of God.
Well, in Africa, they don't consider people with disabilities as valuable, and they believe that if you have a disability, you're cursed, or your parents did something wrong, or you sinned.
Families of children with significant disabilities feel so much shame and rejection, and you won't often see them venturing out with their child. So thank God that our Cause for Life interns, they take the Luke 14 mandate seriously and go out into the streets and the alleys to find the disabled. Because you know what? Not many others are doing it.
She has a mental challenge with this speech difficulty.
Is her strength.
Awesome that she had a hope for her daughter. I was humbled when we went in there and Sam said, "This is Uganda and we're happy." To me that's humbling, because we see Americans that have much more and are not happy.
Yeah, they were telling me that right here, when it rains, this floods, and they have to take everything off of the floors because it all comes into the house.
Life with these children is like, it's like a miracle, something unfolding. It's not the obvious happening. It's so motivating. You see that lives of the children changing, and it's so satisfying. You just enjoy it.
So this is something you can have Julie do with her individually. It's just cool to see the love that shines through them. And sometimes I feel like I go back learning more than I could ever teach here.
Improper seating can actually cause deformity. What would be the best help for Isaac would be proper wheelchair.
It's not proper, he's turned to one side and the hips are adducted.
Yes.
You ready to go back?
Yeah.
She's good.
Can you get my hand? But take a moment. Okay. And here.
So when you work on sitting, the pelvis is here, and you want to try and get the pelvises stabilized, as straight as you can. It doesn't.
Oh, we could. If we put this one back in and hammer these flat, then it'll give leverage and they'll both sit outward on the...
That would
Can you go get the hammer? I know a lot about the human body and how the anatomy and range of motion and stuff with the joints, but I did not know anything about wheelchairs, how to adjust them, how to move them, how to fit them or anything. A lot of what I learned from Nancy is about wheelchairs.
I've been on 2 Wheels for the World trips to Peru, but this is my first time in Africa.
And see, Gabby taped up the seat so that it's all nice and smooth for you.
The chair insert is accumulation of 2 or 3 old wheelchairs that we added parts, took away parts, broke parts, fixed parts, and we came up with a chair insert that fit perfectly and fit him perfectly, and he sits up in it great. We're just putting foam in here to support the areas that are uneven to make the way he sits so he has better posture and makes his alignment better.
Put it so that the thin side is closest to his spine.
Doing physical therapy with Nancy has been really beneficial for me because she teaches me patience and to always be open and open to anyone's ideas and try to fix things.
You okay?
Yeah.
You let us know if anything hurts, okay? Isaac? Can you lift up your head and look at me? You have such a nice smile. Yeah. Can you hold your head this way? His head position should improve, and his arm positions should improve so that he's able to use his arms easier.
Physical therapy in Uganda is very crucial, it's needed, and maybe I'd like to come back here and do some physical therapy for him one day.
Just look at Isaac's smile. Not only do our interns learn, but we can learn a lot from his consummate patience, his spirit of acceptance, his sense of gratitude for the smallest of favors. Truly, God has made the poor of this world to be rich in faith. And it's personal connections like these which really impact our interns. Because after all, isn't it about sharing the love of Christ one-on-one?
Right over here.
Pool therapy can go far in helping a young person with a disability gain confidence, as well as great exercise for stiff and spastic arms and legs. But most of all, swimming pool therapy helps expand the vision of a child whose world, for the most part, is the 4 walls of his house, front yard. The Bible says that a merry heart does as much good as medicine. Yep. Sometimes laughter is the best prescription. A Cause for Life internship bridges a world of cultural differences, whether it's sharing a meal, going to the market, or gathering around an oven and sampling the best baked chapatis in town. And it all makes for one unforgettable experience for an intern who doesn't venture far beyond McDonald's or the Pizza Hut. It's all about appreciating. I mean, really connecting with the people you're serving. Cause for Life internships are not just for the young. They're for the young at heart, no matter what the age. Take Denise. This mother discovered Joni and friends by attending one of our family retreats with her son, who's disabled, and that in turn opened the way for Denise to sign up for one of our courses of study.
And when one of the guys was speaking about going to Africa, I knew I was supposed to do that. And I went up to James and told him I'm supposed to go with you on this mission trip. And he said, okay. And I knew he thought I was a crazy lady, but I'm here. And you, can you? Oh, let's see. Get your head. There you go. Good. I had a child, Clayton, that was born in 1983 with cerebral palsy. He was severely medically fragile and had oxygen, used oxygen, G-button, never walked or talked, always used a wheelchair, that kind of thing. Happy guy, though. There's a lot of kids that are real cute, and so they're going to get a lot of attention. There's some kids that aren't as cute, and they're not. You just like to have your picture made? Yeah. Some of the kids drool, and that might gross some people out. They don't know how to, handle that, and so I just hope I can walk by and maybe wipe that away, so it may help somebody else understand that she's drool, she's spit. We all do it. Did you see my boy? My boy has CP. Because I know how it feels to be overlooked and misunderstood, and so I just want to give them just a word of encouragement. Good morning. I got to visit with some of the home moms today that run the dormitories. Got to pray with a couple of those ladies and just saw the tears well up in their eyes because no one had ever asked them what they needed.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. But you do a good job. God is pleased with you. Where I live, I'm known as the Joy Lady. We have what's called the Joy Ministry. And I knew probably about 10 years ago, God's goal for me, I guess, was to take joy to the world. And so, whatever that means. Yesterday we were walking back. We were going over to the playground. And I was talking to the home mom. And I said, you ought to hear her say woohoo. And she said, she doesn't have any language. And what did you say? Woohoo! He was sleeping in my arms, and God had been telling me, will you give him, or asking me, will you give him up for them? And the them, I believe, was the special needs people that I minister to. And that night, Clayton went to sleep. I had turned off his pulse ox, and when I woke up, he was gone. And I know that he was free.
Big ideas are planted in the heart when someone like Denise gets a vision for helping the world.
The kids gave me a great name. They call me Mama. Mama Uno. And giggle. It's worth it. So I loved him like your mom loves you. And I share with kids with special needs like your mom does too. She works here and takes care of your friends. I would say, Clayton says, go for it. These are my friends. You gave me up for them. Yep.
Sometimes I feel like I go back learning more than I could ever teach here.
This team is uniquely formed. I'm blessed to be a part of it.
Maybe I'd like to come back here and do some physical therapy for him one day.
It's not my natural tendency to lead a group, and so I think this is good training for me and a way to step out way beyond myself, rely on God for what He's going to show me during this trip.
And you give your time, you give your energy, you give your money to travel out here, and to see one kid smile, to me it makes it all worth it.